Hey, welcome back. This is the Tektronix Road Tour 2015 Part 3. This is Fredrik from Tektronix. This video was requested after one of our customer visits, and the customer wanted to see how we can easily create and analyze an RF signal. So let's get started. So this is what we want to achieve in the end. So I'm going to create an RF signal with a carrier frequency of 5 GHz, a QAM 128, and a symbol rate of 100 megabit. And our aim is to get as low EVM numbers as possible. In this case, I do the occupied bandwidth, constellation, eye diagram, and spectrum. So how do we do it? We're going to use a software called RF Express to generate the signal, which is very generic, very easy to use. And if you watched our early videos, my early videos, there's a PC which I control the waveform generators with. And the PC also controls the oscilloscope, which is loaded with our VSA software. Let's get started. So first of all, we need to get Source Express set up correctly. So if I go into the Source Express, I can see that I have a waveform generator here, and most of this is put in auto. But there's no waveforms here. Let's go in and start create the waveform. We'll go into the program which we called RF Express, and here are some tips and tricks. First of all, you go to the compile settings menu. Here I want it to compile and send it to channel 1. I want to change the sample rate, so I have always the highest possible sample rate for some oversampling, 50 gigasample. And I press OK. And here's the setup, and there's a lot of tabs here. We will go into that in an episode later. But there's so much you can do. But here, right now, we set the center frequency to 5 GHz. We set the modulation. In this case, it should be QAM 128. And we set the symbol rate to 100 meg. I also sent this code, the envelope code into 22, and that's it. I've done it. So there's a 5 gig, QAM 128, 100 meg, and I just press compile. And this will compile and send this to the arbitrary waveform generator. So let's go back and look at the arbitrary waveform generator, the Source Express, and you can see it's actually already loaded. In this case, it's 500K simples, you can see that. But now, let's go to the scope and see what we can see on the other side. By doing that, I need to go to the next picture, this one. So, hold on, be wary. In this case, we have this one. We can go preset, and we're just running it. And here, I start by setting the center frequency to 5 gig. I still remember that one. And here you can kind of see the code. Second thing you need to know now, and for those who's playing around with the RSA 306, which is a fantastic product, knows a little bit how it works, and maybe the persons who have invested in our bigger brothers, 5000, 6000. So go here. I choose constellation. It will not show up because I need to set it up. Go here, click the wheel, put here 128 QAM, and I set the symbol rate here to 100 meg. I remove the measurement filter to none, and here we go. Doesn't look that nice, but in the traces menu you can change this to points instead. And now you can barely see there's some points there, but the time is a little bit too less. It's only 200 symbols. Let's go for 1000 symbols. Second thing I do is I go to the advanced parameters and change it to max symbol magnitude measurement instead, and you see an RMS of like 1%. So the first question, you can see that it's not filled, the constellation is not filled. And there is a very simple reason for that. I have a too little pattern. I need a longer pattern. So if we now go back to the RF Express, we're going to change that. So we go to RF Express, here we are. And now all I'm going to do is change the base patterns to 23 instead. Let's see what's happened. And we compile it. It compiles and sends. Overwrite, yes, we loaded that one into the AWGs and we're playing out. So let's go and see how this looks like now. Maybe it's a little bit better. Yeah, we actually have a full eye diagram. But in case of the EVM, it's still not really good. And now there comes the cool part. We're actually going to do a calibration. The cable I have connected between the AWG and the scope is a better quality this time, but we still need to do some calibration. So that's a very simple step of doing when you have everything connected. So what I do now is I go to Source Express, and Source Express is here. So I go to the tab called Pre-compensation, put it in. I just put the IP number of the scope, and now I'm going to start my start frequency, maybe 4.5 gig. And the end frequency should be 5.5 gig. And the resolution here, we go down to 1 megahertz. And I just press the button, create confidence, and you can see that it's a special multi-tune waveform being created. And you can see the stimulus in this case is at 800K waveform that is shipped over. When this is done, I will apply this one, and hopefully we will get the better results, and everybody will be happy. It will take some time before it's done, so bear with me. Okay, it's done. Here's the magnitude and the phase response. That's close. I right click on this one, apply corrections, choose the file that I have, and open. And yes, that's the one I want. Perfect. And I drag it in and I play it. And now let's go and see how it looks on the remote desktop. Will we be any improved things here? So go back here and I run continuous. And the EVM is down to 0.5. Everybody's happy. And the picture I did in the beginning, it was very simple. I had the IQ diagram, and I also had, I think, EVM versus time. I mean, you can have, but no, I didn't have EVM versus time. I actually had something. It doesn't really matter. So I click this one. We have this one. Everybody's happy, and mission accomplished. Thank you for watching. And the next episode, I will talk about how we do high-speed serial data.